Okay guys, in this top 100 habits video, we are going to talk about a habit from the social life category, and that is to debate big topics with friends. It's actually more important than you can ever imagine, especially in these times with the development of AI and potentially super AI. And I'll definitely explain that in more detail, why I mean it's so important. And as usual, we go through the same format of what is the habit, why is it important, when to do the habit, and how I do the habit. And in this case especially, we're going to talk about who you should study that does this even better than me. Okay, so let's get started. So we already know that the habit is debate big topics with friends. Now let's talk about why it's so important. Well, to give you a little appetizer, consider for a moment why they put it as the First Amendment that you have the freedom to speech. And I'll just give you a few funny examples of why it's so important to talk about big things that are happening in society. Talk with your friends, colleagues, and family about it. One of the main reasons is simply that if you don't talk about it, then there are certain actions that will be taken from the very top in our society without anybody to stop them. For example, let's just make a fun hypothetical example of, let's say that somebody from the very top decides that everybody is going to pay 80% tax from tomorrow. Let's do it. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be terrific, right? For who, by the way, but yeah, that's pretty obvious. And another example could be that in the same case, the next day, from tomorrow, all the corporations, they only have to pay 1% tax, even though they are the wealthiest organizations in the world. Oops, that already happened. Did you know that most of the huge corporations, they are incorporated in Delaware, where the tax percentage is around 1%? Yep, it already happened. And that is because we were too slow to talk about it before that got approved, right? Another big why it's important. One of the biggest things of this time is the development of super AI. We need to talk to each other more about, do we even want super AI? As you may know, there's 1,100 of the leading experts and top CEOs in the tech industries that have signed a letter to put a 6-month pause on the AI development. Elon Musk, he was one of the lead voices in this initiative. So the reason it's so important to debate if we want, for example, super AI, something that's way smarter than humans, is that it can basically replace us both in work life and it can be abused, which is why the head of AI development of Google actually quit his job, because he was disappointed and he regretted that he had helped them develop this technology, because he saw what it was probably going to be used for. Now I'll give you a couple of examples of how AI could be abused if we are not able to talk about it and make some regulations and laws against this. Okay? So one of the examples is, let's say we have a super AI that's optimized for marketing. And then my question to you is, and you can then talk to your friends about it and family and colleagues, should it be allowed for corporations to use AI for marketing? And I will give you a really good example. I'll actually give you two really good examples of two industries where it would be extremely unfortunate if they gained access to AI marketing. And those industries are, first of all, pharmaceutical industry. Why would that be a problem? Well, if you think about it, the more people are sick, the more money they'll make. And the worse their product works, if they only work halfway good, the more products they will sell. If the marketing AI really helped with all this, it would also find a way to create more sick people. Like, it's supposed to optimize sales, right? So think about that. The next industry that is just as critical is defense industry. I had once a client, by the way. I'm just going to take a real life example because I think it makes a better impression, or a more serious impression, I should say. I had a guy who worked lifelong in defense, and he said, business is great because this country is at war with this country. He was in defense sales department, okay? So they can only increase their sales if there's an increase in war and conflict and basically people shooting at each other. right? And that means if the defense industry gained access to using AI in their marketing or sales department, then this AI would be super clever to find out ways to create more conflict and more wars. I don't know how much you know about technology, but there's very complex ways this could be done. The problematic nature of AI is it can intercept communications. So it could, for example, take a message that is sent from the leader of one country to a leader of another country, and it could intercept and manipulate the message so that it becomes hostile or creates a hostile response. And this could even be done for video call, if you know the deepfake technology. Basically, that is, an AI can create a fake video image and fake voice to represent another person. And you can figure out how that could be abused, right? Okay, so that was a lot about the why. And I think you can sense this is some pretty serious stuff. And the AI development is going really fast right now. Okay, and I also saw some news that they're actually going through some Congress hearings with the head of OpenAI. He's been questioned about the safety of their operations, and I think this is a step in the right direction. So the next thing we're going to talk about is when to have these debates about topics, and I'll be short in my reply in this one, and that is, well, simply when you have lunch breaks with your colleagues, or when you have dinner with your family and friends, that are two good times to talk about things like this, or when you go to a sport club in the weekend doing your sports. So that's my advice. Now let's talk about how to debate, and this is also important, especially since 2020. It is really important to practice to have a respectful debate. The reason I mentioned obviously 2020 is because since 2020 there has been so much hostile debate to such a degree that friends have become not friends over a certain topic, and families have been split during debates of a pharmaceutical product. Like, think about that. Oh, I don't believe this product works. Oh, I think it's great. You know, oh, maybe it wasn't as great after all. You know, I come from a scientific background, by the way. I've studied nanoscience. Still, without telling what my stance is on this certain topic, I can look any person directly in the eye and fully respect this person's opinion, because I 100% understand the logic that is behind their opinion. Okay? And then if I want to voice my opinion, I have several very logical arguments and basically scientific studies, and to actually provide data, like scientific data. How is it provided? It's pretty crazy how data has been provided during the last 3 years. Completely kindergarten, low level, not real scientific data. A lot of it, what has been presented on TV, the numbers are flexible, they don't reflect useful information, but that's a topic for another video. So the bottom line is, how to debate is debate with a respectful tone and try to understand the other person that you're debating with. Think about it, they actually want the best for the world, just like you want the best for your world, with whatever views you have and whatever opinions you have. The other person that thinks the exact opposite still wants the same good thing for the world. Okay, that's usually how it is. Maybe you just don't agree on what's going on in the world, and that's a different story. That's just a matter of source of information and education as well, scientific education to be specific. So now let's talk about the last thing, and the important thing is, let's talk about who you should study that does this better than me. And I'll mention 3 people you should try to study. So the first one is Geoffrey Hinton. He is the head of Google A.i development that just quit his job, and then you can try to find out why he quit his job and why he's disappointed in the direction things are going, and why he regrets to have assisted in the development of these technologies. Okay, the next person you should study is Robert Malone. He is the guy who invented mRNA technology, and then you should try to study and find out why he decided to talk against how this technology is being used. Okay, why does the person who invented it talk against it, how it's being used? Figure that out. That's interesting and relevant. Now I'm going to mention one from defense industry. And all of these guys are in podcasts, by the way, some of them more than others. So the next guy is a former Navy SEAL and a CIA contractor. And he has a podcast that's called The Sean Ryan Show. Okay, and he interviews many people from many different industries, but a lot of them are from defense industry. And you should also then try to consider why he is often bringing in people that are criticizing how things are being operated in defense industry and how our society could be better if it was managed differently. And this is old news, actually. You know, General Eisenhower, former president of USA, he had a famous speech right before he stepped down as president and his term was over. And in that speech, he warned about the defense industry. He warned about this being turned into a big commercial machinery that is motivated by profits and revenue instead of the moral that should accompany such a big responsibility as being the biggest superpower on the planet. The main goal should be to protect good moral values instead of trying to generate as much revenue as possible, basically. So anyways, that was a really long video. Usually I try to keep these videos 5 minutes long, but this one was a bit longer, but it's probably the most important one, because if we humans don't debate properly about what's going on in the world right now, we are gonna end up in a dark future instead of a very bright future that could be easily obtained if AI is developed properly with the correct values and working for humanity. That way there will be enough resources for everybody. But if control of AI is centered in one little place, in one corporation, that corporation will accumulate all the resources of the world, or could easily, I should say, and then all the individuals will be useless and maybe even a burden, all humans as individuals. Instead of distributing all these new resources from robotics and AI to the population, they could be end up being concentrated in one huge big tech company. So with that out of the way, thank you for watching. Subscribe if you want to see more, and see you on the next one. If you want to learn more tools and techniques and habits that can improve your life quality and performance and well-being overall, subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you like tropical island holidays, visit fitcamp5.com for my 2-time TripAdvisor award-winning training camp, where we train fitness and action sports together while learning to live a healthy lifestyle and, maybe most importantly, have fun at the same time. And if you're really serious about improving yourself, you should definitely check out my full online courses, where I share step-by-step programs on how I developed my own routines over the last 12 years as a CEO, working in 4 different countries, while being a successful competitive athlete with more than 20 years of experience in fitness and nutrition. Check the link in the description for that. And in any case, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, be awesome, believe in yourself, and see you on the next one.